What's up, everybody? Well, this is the angle we're going to show you. There's actually a better angle that you can get more from, but we're going to show you this angle because not every show has the different angle. So we're going to go with this one. Here we go. Yo, what's happening, everybody? Brian and Brendan back for another episode of Too Much Fantasy Football here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Did you not see that BS about how the review in the game, that because they have...
Oh, that's right. It was the Chicago game, right?
Yeah. There's like only certain stadiums have this view, so we don't
have
coaches use it. It's like, how does everybody not have this universal? And B,
that's kind of... I was really weird because like it did look like his foot was like touching the line on that angle, and like it's pretty clear, but they can't use that because it's not fair that every stadium has that. Like, you're telling me that a multi-billion-dollar operations doesn't have the same cameras in every stadium?
Yeah,
kind of weird. A little weird.
You're telling me that, hey, no, we know what the correct call is, but we can't make it because it came on the wrong camera. That's so stupid.
But in the Super Bowl, they'll have it though. They'll have every camera which way possible.
They freaking better. Well, yes, folks, if you made it through that and all the other ridiculousness, we're here to recap, well, everything leading up to Monday Night Football on Week 12. A hell of a day. I mean, I had some laughs, some cries, some wins, a couple losses. What about you? You fared pretty well yesterday?
Did very well betting on teams. Fantasy-wise was like it's like 50-50 on some of the leagues I'm in right now, so...
Yeah, there were some games that definitely were exciting. Some of them opened up exciting. You thought they were going to be close. I mean, good Lord. Talk about an excitement. The Cowboys and Washington game. That one, the first three quarters were boring. Just absolutely atrocious in that last quarter. Holy crap.
I really thought we were going to see another like Jaden Daniels like magic moment again, and then missing the extra point was just hilarious.
So anticlimactic. The dude hasn't missed a single extra point all season, I think is what they were saying.
Yeah, of course they jinxed him right before.
At least you got somebody to blame, not yourself.
Yeah.
I think the highlight, though, is it's got to be the running backs from this past weekend. Starting with the Sunday night game. Saquon Barkley, 26 carries, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground, and then another 47 on his 4 catches. I mean, we've got to have some running backs in the MVP talks this year, right? Like Saquon and Derrick Henry have to be up there.
They'll be talked, but they won't win it. It's a quarterback award, unfortunately. Like, it's going to be between Josh Allen and I think Lamar Jackson. I think Saquon, as of this morning, was like plus like 600. Mm-hmm. So like, he's not like far off. Like, if he continues to do this, like he should for sure like at least be recognized, because like the Eagles are going to be the number 2 team in the NFC. I mean, I think the real competition will be Josh Allen. I think if Josh Allen starts to get on a steamroll boat, or even Lamar for his 3rd MVP, and Derrick Henry is not far behind him either. So
it just feels so. I mean, Lamar's been great, but I mean, I guess even last year he was good, but it just didn't feel MVP worthy.
It was Christian McCaffrey. I thought Christian McCaffrey should have won it last year. Yeah,
100% agree. Like, yeah, they were great years for Lamar, but they still weren't even close to his first MVP. So like, why are we trying to pigeonhole in the quarterback just because? Like, no, running backs.
Yeah, they need to make a quarterback award, like a separate award for quarterbacks, and then have the MVP be like actually something where it's like actually talked about. Where if it is the best quarterback, then sure, then that quarterback wins MVP as well. But like, they need to have like a separate award. I mean, I know that's why they have the offensive, player of the year, but.
Yeah, it's essentially what that is.
Yeah.
MVP is just best quarterback of the year.
Yeah.
Where are you at? So, I mean, you watch the pendulum move from side to side, depending on like how the NFL's broken down, whether we're pass heavy, whether we're run heavy, right in the middle. And running backs, we're kind of getting gypped over the last few years. And this year we're seeing some older guys. They got paid and they're doing well. I mean, can we see this continue? Is this just going to be like a 1-year fad? Like, where are you at?
I think it's a 1-year fad. I think like, because there's a guy in my league, in my home league, he all older players, and he has the best team in the league because he took Derrick Henry, he took like all these older guys like Travis Kelce, which he's like, I mean, not terrible, but he took him later on. So it's just like one of those things where you're like, he's having the best year out of any of us because he took all the older players. So I think it's a 1-year fad. I don't see it working again.
Yeah, I don't have the running back free agencies in front of me, but just it'll be interesting to see how many of these guys get paid next year. I do think it's a situation though. Like I've seen kind of on the internet some people talking about like, oh yeah, the Raiders just let Josh Jacobs leave, the Titans let Henry leave. They had to though. Like it would have been absolutely stupid if they paid those running backs. It's not necessarily that anybody should be paying these running backs. It's that these top end teams should be. Like this absolutely pushed them over the top compared to where they were with DeAndre Swift last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny though, because like every time like I see Saquon have a good game, my feed will just pop up of like the Giants HBO Hard Knocks of like, should we really pay him like $3 million over the next player? Like, this is a good running back, like free agency class, and it's just so. I say it every single time Saquon just goes off, and it is the funniest thing ever because I think Saquon had more yards by himself than the Giants did total offensive wise today.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we kind of segue into that one a little bit. Absolutely, if you had any hope for DeVito to make this offense functional, it definitely isn't. Tyrone Tracy, I was really hoping even with DeVito we could still get something. He fumbled yesterday in the red zone, which turned in time to not only the negative 2 points, but Devin Singletary got the touchdown. 2 carries, 3 yards, and a touchdown for Singletary. Absolutely ruined Tracy's day.
It's such a stat line.
It is. It's a 2 catches, 7 yards. Way to go, Singletary. 10 yards on 4 opportunities.
It's funny.
Tyrone Tracy's absolutely the more talented guy, but Daboll, his hot seat might be building. Like, we made it seem that he might be safe coming into next year. Maybe not. Malik Neighbors, 6 catches on 9 targets, 64 yards. Going back to since essentially his injury. 8 points, 7 points, 10 points, 10 points, 6 points in half PPR. He's got a great schedule upcoming, but do you feel good outside of like a wide receiver 3 ranking for him rest of season? Like I know he'll have spikes, but like
he'll have spikes. Yeah, I don't feel good though. I don't feel good. I'm not sitting there like, yes, like this stretch is gonna be great. Like, no, I think you're really hoping for a wide receiver 2 outcome when you put him in that lineup. Like you're just like, please get 50 yards and a touchdown, please.
It's rough, absolutely rough for Neighbors. On the other side, it's looking good. Mike Evans, 5 catches on 6 targets, 68 yards. Didn't get his touchdown. Like, I mean, everybody had to expect that, right? Well, it's because it all came on the ground. Baker had a rushing, Irving, White, and Tucker all had a rushing touchdown there.
So annoying.
Do you think this is just prescriptive of the game, or do you think Bucky Irving, 12 carries, 87 yards and a touchdown, 6 catches for 64 yards.
Bucky is the best. Bucky is the best back out of those guys, and it's not close. Like he's so much more efficient when he gets the ball in his hands. I think Rachaad White's a good change of pace back, but I don't get why Sean Tucker came in for that 1 yard carry. Bucky Irving literally just mauled people over 5 yards and just happened to fall an inch short of the line. Like let him finish that carry for a touchdown, but yeah, no, it's Bucky.
I believe 2 of Sean Tucker's 4 carries were goal line carries. So just blows my mind what we're doing there. It's funny, Irving and White both had 12 carries, 1 for 87, 1 for 37. So there's definitely a talent difference there.
Yeah, Bucky had 1 for like 57 yards, but that's because he created that 57-yard carry.
Yeah, Rachaad White, he was good for us last year, but it seems he's found the cliff. Speaking of that cliff, we got to talk. We've talked about awards a little bit. Offensive Rookie of the Year seems to have shifted from the exciting and electric Jaden Daniels to Bo Nix. So is this a Jaden Daniels issue? Is this the Cliff Kingsbury issue?
I think it could be a little bit of both. Like I think like it looked like he was playing injured for a little bit. He looked okay today. Like he was able to run, move the ball, but like Dallas kept him bottled up for 3 quarters. It seemed like it was like they couldn't move the ball at all. And like I know they lost. Brian Robinson got hurt in the first play, and like I know he's a pivotal part of that offense. And he didn't look good. So be a lookout for him on the injury report because they don't.
Two got knocked around.
Concussion. He's concussed, so he's out. So it'd be very interesting.
Nichols.
Rodriguez. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think it's tough, so I just think it's a little bit of both, but I think Cliff he's always been the same or not. Like he's going to run the ball 3 times in the goal line. The play calling is going to be stagnant. I think though it's still going to be just how it is for the rest of the season though.
And unfortunately, he's probably going to be there next year. So if this is something that Cliff can't figure out, Jaden Daniels might have a little bit of a handicap on him for the next season and a half.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Texans here a little bit. As Colts fans ourselves, I didn't mind too much what was happening there. May have actually been called on this show a little bit about what could be happening, but Titans 3-8 took it to the Texans 7-5. They won 32-27, despite Will Levis giving them a chance to win with his pick six.
Dude.
We even called that on the show, that the Titans would have it and Will's going to try and get rid of it, but CJ Stroud's 2 interceptions contributed to that.
Dude, and they were bad interceptions. They weren't like these like, oh, it went off the wide receiver's hand. Like he threw it directly towards the Titans players. Like the cliff is very interesting. The sophomore slump is real for him. I still think he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. But like I said this year, I think for fantasy wise, he was very much capped at like a fringe QB2.
And he wasn't even going to be drafted around for that. Like, so if you took him as the QB10, and like, yeah, we were talking right around maybe, QB12. That's not bad. But the fact that this guy was going anywhere from QB5 to 7 for the majority of best ball summer and even into like redrafts, that's the issue, because this is what it gave you. Yeah, he had 18 points this week, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, but the 2 picks and only 18 rushing yards. I don't want to draft that. You could have taken Will Levis off the waiver wire, and he outscored him 18.2 points.
Yeah.
And what is up with that? Is Will Levis going like he is? I mean, we've talked about Calvin Ridley and his great schedule. That kind of means Will Levis has a good schedule too.
I'm not starting Will Levis. No.
Oh man, really? He's QB 10, 20, and QB 11 over the last 3?
No. Nope. Can't do it. Do not care. Will not do it.
Washington, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Indy, Jacksonville. Like those defenses make
terrible defenses. Still not starting Will Levis.
Oh man, Superflex. I think he's super interesting. That's for sure.
You're talking about starting Will Levis in playoff time. I just want you to think about that. You're really going to trust Will Levis in the playoff time? Like you're really going to sit there when you have a trophy on the line and shit talking on the line, and you're going to be like, yeah, Will Levis. That's some stones. I don't have those. I got little stones, so no.
Well, maybe it's, mosquitoes are still out and about here because it's still warm in Virginia Beach. So maybe it's the swelling of that's got them a little bigger than normal. I don't know.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I think for Stroud, it's this team. We said it before, though. They traded for Joe Mixon. They wanted to be a run team, and now it's hilarious how like everyone's calling for Bobby Slowick's job, even though he's a head coach candidate like last season. And everyone's like, it's the play calling. It's like, is it the play calling though? Is it really?
I think it's the over. We overinflated these expectations for the same reason that CJ Stroud was being talked about as QB2 in Dynasty. Like, yeah, of course we overreacted on that. Like, I'm not saying he's not a great quarterback, but to immediately take the guy from where he was to put him up there. Same thing. Jaden Daniels got the same thing. All of a sudden I was listening to Dynasty podcast week 3, week 4. Oh, Jaden Daniels probably my top 2 quarterback right now. I'm like, I'm not saying he can't be that, but like, let's give it a little bit of time.
I like Jaden's outlook more for fantasy than CJ Stroud just because he's able to move. He's mobile. Sorry. For
fantasy, 100%. As far as the Texans and the future of that franchise in the NFL, I think CJ Stroud's great. I think they're set up well. But for fantasy, Jaden Daniels is way more appealing just because of that rushing.
Mm-hmm.
So can we talk about the Chiefs and that game?
Hey, I have no problem with it because there's another quarterback in another team that played really well.
Bryce Young, 21 for 35, 263, a touchdown, 3 rushes for 20 yards. Patrick Mahomes actually had a great day. 268
he did.
Air, 3 touchdowns, 60 yards rushing. So that was absolutely amazing. But Chiefs, what are we doing after a loss?
Dude.
Do you want to play like that?
It was really weird. Like I think they played down to their opponent, but also I think Bryce Young had a very good game. Like Bryce Young was accurate. Like he was hitting guys, and the Chiefs had good. Like I kept watching on red zone of like the throws. It's not like they were wide open. He was just hitting dudes on like dots and everything else like that. This was Bryce Young's best NFL game by far. And I think there's some guys we can talk about for the Panther side a little bit. But yeah, the Chiefs, I mean, Noah Gray had 2 touchdowns and I don't know how many yards, but he was Travis Kelce today.
Back-to-back games with 2 touchdowns.
I saw
4
that.
catches in both these games. He did have 66 yards this week compared to the 23 the week prior. Are we going to be talking about him as like a fringe playable tight end, or is this just something you have to watch out for?
He's going to get picked up this week in waivers for sure. Are you going to start him next week, though? Are you really going to sit there and say, yeah, he's moving over Travis Kelce, or is it just happen to be game script?
And they have Vegas, the Chargers, and Cleveland the next 3 games. Two of those being divisional games. And we know everything just gets thrown out the window on those.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt, 16 for 68, 3 catches, 19 yards. Decent day, but when he doesn't get in the end zone, he's disappointing.
Good night, sweet prince. It was nice that you did well for us for, I think, 10 weeks, whatever it was. Pacheco should be back for Friday, I think. I think that's what I saw the reports.
For sure. And then Jonathan Brooks, 2 carries, 7 yards, 5 snaps.
That's very, very limited.
Very. 7 yards on those 2 carries. That's just not. 2 carries. What can you really do with that? And
that's like bubble. They really just said bubble wrap. Please be safe. I don't get it. Really, really weird, but whatever.
I guess. Hubbard's still pretty good day though. He's proving that he might continue to give you a workload throughout the rest.
Hubbard is one. Like when we talk at the end of the year, we're going to talk about Hubbard being the steal of the draft. Like you got him you got him in the late double-digit rounds, and he has been a viable RB2.
100%. One of the few late round running backs that were out there this year.
Yeah, seriously.
Alrighty. What else do we want to go over here? Seahawks, Cardinals. Kind of a boring game, 16-6. Are the Seahawks and the Rams the 2 best teams in this division this season? The blue teams over the red teams?
I want to say because Arizona went into Seattle, so that's why that game was that way. I think if it was in Arizona, it might have been a little different. I think home field advantage played towards that game. I think Seattle definitely could take that. That division is such a wild crapshoot. If you told me San Francisco won that division, though, I would be like, well, I guess. They're only a game out, right, from first. If you told me Seattle won it, I'd be like, okay. I think anybody can win that division right now. It's still anybody's game.
Yeah, the Rams and the Niners both have 5 wins. The Cardinals and Seahawks have 6. So it's a hot mess. The Niners are just the disadvantage of, I think they only have 1 divisional win. They've got 3, maybe 4 losses in the division, so that's what's really hurting them.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey still has not scored a touchdown. He had 11 for 31, 4 targets, 3 catches, 37 yards. Yeah, 3 games in, he has not had a touchdown. 82% of snaps are higher in every single game. So it's not like it's a limited usage thing.
Yeah, the first game it was whatever. This game though was just bad. The Packers just kind of smothered him all day on defense. So I kind of have to put this up for you don't have Brock Purdy in, not moving the ball well. It is what it is. It's gonna be a tough time to score if you can't really move the ball. Debo played like ass though.
Oh yeah, 1 catch on 4 targets, 21 yards, nothing manufactured, no carries. That's pretty surprising.
Yeah.
Jennings though, 7 targets. Let's get it. I think he's going to be usable no matter who's back there. I think you talk about steal of the draft, steal of the waiver wire for Jennings.
You want to know who his college quarterback was? Josh Dobbs.
Shut up.
Just saying,
man. If the Niners could get Josh... Oh, wait, they have him.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, crazy.
Speaking about crazy quarterback, this happened right after we recorded our second show last week. Daniel Jones cut by the Giants. He is teamless, and I actually think that this week might have opened up a few more options for him. I guess first reactions on him getting cut. First 10th reactions, because it's been a bit.
Not really shocked. It makes sense. You're going to cut him at the end of the year. You were just going to put him on the practice squad because you don't want him to get injured. You don't want to be held liable for him get another $40 million secured next season. He asked to be released. You were going to do it regardless. So, just let him go. You suck. You're not you're going to, he's going to be the factor of another team going to the Super Bowl. So, it just made sense. It's just that GM and head coach will be fired.
Yeah. I was going to say, if anything, maybe it helps, it just looks good for the franchise. Hey, we're willing to, because who was it? Russell Wilson? No, I was trying to remember. There's some quarterback got cut late a few years ago. And, I guess it happens somewhat often, but there's always a big stink about, giving guys the chance to go find other teams. Where most likely team that you could see him going to at this point, and I guess just most fun spot you'd like to see him?
I don't think he's gonna go to like a really really bad team and just like play and then also be terrible like the Raiders or anybody of like that sort. I don't think it's gonna happen. Apparently the Lions have interest in him, which is really weird.
That is weird.
Like
I
guess if Goff goes,
might be a top candidate just because they looked at Stafford a little bit. Darnold has.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's really weird that the Vikings kind of make sense, though, because if Darnold goes down, like, they are a playoff team. Like, they have a good roster. Like, Daniel Jones has shown to be semi-functional when the roster is somewhat competent. Like,
and Giants have shown to be good when they leave New York. So maybe that's the issue. KOC. I believe I think he's a good coach.
Yeah, I do too.
I think most fun, obviously, you see the jokes that, Aaron Rodgers might get cut as well, maybe go to IR. So if he walks across the hall and goes over to the Jets, that one would be pretty fun.
Dude, if he does go to the IR, though, it's Tyrod Taylor. So are you still starting Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams?
I'd love to say yes. Remember Charles Clay, the day with Tyrod and Charles Clay? God, that was great. I think you have to just on volume. I'm really excited about Brees at that point because if they can't get anything manufactured through the air, Brees should just absolutely feast.
Yeah.
I think too as far as Daniel Jones going to another team, oh my God, I just had it and I lost it. Oh, Cowboys. Everybody's talking about the Cowboys this week. So
that'd be funny. Yeah. That would be hilarious. But, Cooper Rush didn't have a bad game, so they're not going to just give him the boot. So,
and they're just waiting for Trey Lance to be ready so they can give him.
I still don't understand why they don't start him. Just give the guy a chance.
Oh, Jerry! Remember when he said Derrick Henry was too costly? They couldn't afford him this year.
Yeah, what was he getting paid? $7 million a season? Wow,
I think it was like $216, I think.
Imagine if they forked over the money to go get like a Saquon, like Josh Jacobs. I think they probably would have had a little bit. I think they might have had like one or two more wins before Dak went down, just because they had no running game. Also, I want to give a good shout out to Justin Jefferson. Thank you for Sunday for the 2 catches you provided to my team. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, he didn't really do a whole lot. It was Addison's day, 8 for 9, 162, and a touchdown. Hawkinson even had 9 targets, 114 yards.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised. I mean, I tried to gloss over it as fast as I could, but I have to bring it up now because I just wanted to hear what you'd say. The Packers game, Christian Watson, did you see his touchdown?
I saw he dropped a touchdown.
Yeah, I didn't either because he dropped it right through his freaking fingers. 1 carry for 4 yards. He went 0 for 3 through the air. The waiver wire pickup of the week, or one of, proved to be exactly what it was. Passing, it's been rough. It's great for Jordan Love. He looks pretty good just about every week, but the receivers, it is a hot freaking mess.
Yeah.
Last one I want to bring up is going to be the Miami Dolphins and the Patriots. As far as the game, it wasn't that good. The Dolphins continue to show how they can beat up on really bad teams, stay in the playoff hunt. Tua, 34 points, 29 for 40, 17 through the air, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, dude's on a mission right now, and he plays Thursday in the cold in Green Bay, so he wants to change the narrative. What's the Dolphins' schedule for the rest of the year? Because they're 5-6, so I'm curious to see if there's a legit chance for them to go to the playoffs.
They're at Green Bay, home against the Jets.
Tough.
In Houston.
Good. Ooh, okay. All right.
Home against San Francisco.
Okay.
And then in Cleveland and in New York, their final 2.
They really could make a run and go to the playoffs. They could legit be in the a fifth seed. That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I think so too. They are just on the outside looking in. The teams behind them that would be chasing it is Indianapolis, Cincinnati's right there. They probably could, but they're a game behind. Teams are hoping that bounce out. It's Houston, it's Denver, and it's wild that Baltimore's a wild card seed team. Because Pittsburgh is running the division at 8-3.
Yeah, they could change this weekend because Pittsburgh plays Cincinnati, so the divisional game, so all that could change too.
Baltimore's rooting for the Tigers this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Waddle finally had his breakout season game, 8 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown. Jonnu continues his run for 9 catches, 11 targets, 87 yards, and a
Dude,
touchdown.
he's gonna be one of the talks of like the steals for waiver wire pickups. Man, the dude's on a roll. What has it been since like the week before Indiana game? Because that's when it was. I know he used to have a start there before that.
So that's the hard thing. Starting with week 5, he's tied in 14, 1, 34, 16, 16, 2, and 3. That's not that impressive when you look in the middle of that 16, 16, 34, 14, because like those are like 6, 7, 4 points. But when you look at the targets of 11, 8, 4, 6, 6, 7, and 8, that's what's like so impressive.
He's getting manufactured targets. Like he's getting plays designed for him, which is crazy.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns in the last 6 games. That's awesome too. He's Green Bay. I mean, we just talked about the Jets, Houston, San Francisco. If you don't have one of the top like 5, 6 guys, this is somebody you're considering starting just about every week at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, if he's getting manufactured targets, like, are you going to start him over Mark Andrews for the rest of the season?
Oh, that one's so hard. I don't think so, but I wouldn't doubt you, or I wouldn't tell anybody they're wrong for doing it. I'm in that buzz. I played Mark Andrews just about every year of his career. Like I'm always in there, so I'm okay because I know what the upside is with him, but if you've been burned, I have no problem because I mean Mark Andrews hasn't been great. We haven't seen this Monday night game obviously, but
yeah,
4 weeks for him.
Yep.
Kyle Pitts, I'm sure he's in that same breath as well. He's had.
I'd for sure start him over Kyle Pitts. Yeah.
Oh, don't be so for sure. Okay, we don't know for sure. We just maybe think so. But you do, I'm sure.
For sure.
Alrighty. Any other things you want to touch on before we get out of here?
No, not really. I mean, we got a short week this week because of Thanksgiving games on Thursday. So tomorrow, I think what will be in the live recording.
Yep, come check us out on the Waiver Wire live stream tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern. Wednesday, we will drop our Thanksgiving and Black Friday slate for you. So we'll cover those 4 games, and then on Friday we will drop the Sunday episode.
Sunday.
All those games. No bye weeks this week. Whoop whoop. So we'll have a big episode for you Friday. Get ready for that one.
There really is no bye week. That's a
No
random.
bye weeks.
That's random. Okay.
I think it's because we have 5 games out of 5 games out of market or out of
Yeah,
out of
the Netflix on Friday. It'll be interesting.
No, that's Amazon. Netflix is Christmas.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so it's
Streaming
Amazon.
service
Okay.
straight.
Yeah, seriously. There's so many I can't forget.
It's I had to write it all down. It's horrible. But if you're looking for more from us, of course, we just gave you the schedule for the week. We're here on the Fantasy Football Advice Network, Too Much Fantasy Football. If you're looking for more of me, it is at @TooMuch_Brian on Twitter, @TooMuchBrian everywhere else. I know, annoying. Brendan, where are you at?
I'm on X at FFAMBMilk, and I'm in the Fantasy Football Advice Network Facebook group page answering all your questions there.
Yeah, and if not, head over to the network. We're always there. But until next time, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll catch you later. Bye.